Rinpoche, so very good to have you here in Boise and having this conversation with us. I know that you've been here in Boise quite a few times. The first time that we met was 5 or 7 years ago, and you've come to give teachings a number of times here in Boise. And it's really nice at this time to be able to finally have an interview where we can talk a little bit more about your background. So would you mind just sort of giving an overall sort of description about your background, maybe when you were younger, and how you might have come here to the West, or whatever you feel like talking about, just a little bit about your background.
Oh, to just trashy dela, and the I don't know. Tanga Rinpoche down, then Zapto Rinpoche, then Kando Makashi Telajiga, Kunso Kashi, Lama Mambo, Jiga, Nibda, Tatashi Gong, La Ni, Holy Mountain, Shorten, Roshon Shorten, Third and the Soul and the Zapo Yankan, Tatrako Pamarando Rinpoche, Young Days, Lama Moji,
So, as Yeshiwanu said, then my predecessor, Tulku Orgyen, was one of the points of his fame was that there was a Tashigomon monastery. Why it was such an important place is there is a self-arising stupa there, and which is a very holy repository of treasures. And again, Rinpoche repeated that yes, there were many important lamas and dakinis who all agreed that he had a connection with Tashigomon.
Randy, Munzano can do such a shasona. Randy, then the Jisa Kali Kali, Garhon Rinpoche, Nakasher, Poverty in Benikamna. Pandro Tari Hamota, Nathan Jimmy Conso, the Tatanga Rinpoche, Costume Wang Dongbon, Jison, Mother Lama Janda, so from the name Jison. The Jisa, the Garhon Rinpoche, the name Kanshin, Jaro Jimmy Conso, Shetala Yori, the Congo, the Tabatana Chuson Yori, on a retro. On the retro yori, the Nadona, the Panjin Jimmy of the Kiba and Halibai, Jabami Birin Yori, Kid of Nidan, Sabarwati, Tatanga Rinpoche, I on the Nandoni Yogi, Keran on the Nandona, the Maola, the Damba Rola, and Property Keran, Leading Yori, the Garhon Rinpoche, and other than Northern
So then I received the teachings and transmissions of Dharma from my first teacher, Tartum Garlung Rinpoche, but then I also met Kondo Tari Lamo and her Tulku Namcho Jigni Punso Rinpoche, and from them I also received Dharma teachings. And then at some point, then it was Garlung Rinpoche advised me that I should go to study at the institute or the college, the monastery of the Lord of Refuge, Jigme Punso Rinpoche. So Jigme Punso Rinpoche is a fully realized master and a scholar, so has this combination of being a scholar and being a Siddha, or a realized master. And his training, it's a very large educational institution with many people, and so Garlung Rinpoche told me that I had a karmic connection to go there, and I should go there to make studies, and then in the future, if everything went well, I would be able to benefit the beings and the doctrine. So in that way, I left Garlung Rinpoche and I went to study with the Lord of Refuge, Jigme Punso Rinpoche.
Gakon Rinpoche and Congo, the Tola Fibure. And then my Zetani, Ane, Tabada, the Sultan, and Duncan Pasher, Chiton, Samuel Pasher, 100,000. No, 1,000. Pasher, 1,000. Duncan. Matana doing it, I'm not going to Homa. But the new Pontola, Ane, Taba, Sama, Domna. Pasher, we come together and Chiton, 1,000, almost such a.
So actually, to get an idea of the size, all the students of Jimmy Phuntsok Rinpoche numbered about 1,000 students, to get men and women, both. And so his teacher advised him to do retreat there.
And then I love Juliet, and I'm 14 years old.
So at that time, then, to give another sense of the size of the activity, when Khenpo Jimi Phuntsok Rinpoche bestowed the empowerment of Kala Chakra, then all the yogins and lay persons came, the monastics, the householders, altogether 10,000 people. At that time, Rinpoche was 14 years old.
Wow.
Then it teaches us that do this, do something, lama something, shoot, and Lord, I'm not sure more so. In terms of so many, she's something, Kalikali, then it was on she's on Lord, I'm not so much. Mazet, then the man of Zobashan, or the Neta, when I continue to be there over Yavjet and Doden. There's in the United States and that, but the man of the two more on so, the land is Mazet Kunika, their shoes soil, so. But there are departure at the low children,
So then Rinpoche remained there in Khenpo Jimi Phuntsok's retreat center college, and there he pursued the studies according to the sutra studies, Tantra studies, 5 sciences studies, and then in particular the Upadesha, the special instructions of great perfection, or Dzogchen, and there he received the entire transmission of great perfection. For example, the transmissions of Longchenpa's 7 treasures, the transmissions of Yabshi, and so on, everything complete and perfect. And so he spent about 17 years there, studying and learning, being in training with Khenpo Jimi Phuntsok.
And then I don't go much take it over that. Don't have Cheshude, Kara Yapode, then the Lama Kondam Chayade, much take it over the Kari Shemone, Yashude, Yashude, Kara Yashude, Lama Kondam Chayade, and around much take it over Yashude, Lama Kondam Chayade, in Sampiosi. Unfortunately, the last.
Yes. So, the most important part of Rinpoche's life is maybe not that he's a Tulku of anybody, but is of his meeting with Khenpo Jimi Phuntsok. The most important thing in his life, that he met this lama, the spiritual master.
The need to Tasan Dori, Tasana, Andrew Gomba, and his after Rambuchi Gomba, Shandu Rambuchi Gomba, and Roson, Shandu Gomba, and Roson. The Nachu, the Ted, the Chasson, the name Madrid Congo, the Nigeria Gumba, Toki Salomon, the Nadan, Madrid and the Yoma, the dancer, Zushin Katamjon, the dancer, Nunda Pachingan, the agent of the Gunka Janda Mongo, the Kozo Nombo Pepson, Adena Pachir, the Kashila Chutu Chasson.
Then, with all this training being completed, then Rinpoche went to Lhasa. And in Lhasa, he met Zaptru Rinpoche, and Zaptru Rinpoche's monastery, a little bit outside Lhasa. And then he gave teachings and empowerments in Lhasa in several monasteries there. including the one was known as Tulku.
Okay.
So then Rinpoche began to teach and give empowerments in several monasteries near and around Lhasa.
Niti jiso tene kale jagarla nikollo sontana sangi chungden jigo tene kuthonsa da chulikollo kosa nene bisala somban tene jagar tawayir la dingara nikolla loso tene kale yama tene chapje panoram bochela khaso kongo kwatin kanso ne kongo ya tene keran tewan la ti penna yembore dona yembore sonson tene nga tewan la lo chi tene dukson kon no chu sona tene samsang la bolla doso chu da tene alam zago chu gin zago mambore apo ko bachna do ans tewan la pe dukson tene kale anam tutan tene la dharma da chu sona kongo tene arala keramona yembore tene arala tanga matsana la chula tonna yore kinachi ana yembore tene arala tepso tene dansa tene arala yanchin sosola ike chuchaki yosi.
So from Lhasa, Rinpoche made his way to India, and in India he went on pilgrimage to the holy sites of Lord Buddha Shakyamuni's life, like where he was born, where he turned the wheel of Dharma, where he passed into Nirvana. So then Rinpoche completed a pilgrimage in India. And also at that time in India, he met with the head of the Nyingma lineage, His Holiness Penna Rinpoche. And he stayed for a period of time with Penna Rinpoche. And it was Penna Rinpoche then suggested to Tulku Orgyen Rinpoche that he should go to Taiwan. So from Lhasa to India, from Golok to Lhasa to India to Taiwan.
Wow.
And so then Rinpoche lived in Taiwan in the Dharma centers there for about 2 years, then teaching in Taiwan. And then his friend Tulku Anam Tupten Rinpoche, who is the founder of the Dharmata Foundation, thought that Rinpoche should come to America. And persuaded him to come, and everything went well. And so in that way, Rinpoche is now in America teaching in America.
Nanditani Datang Arang Ditani Sombasana Chuso Yo, Chusomana, Nyanji Sombasni, Injilan, Compassion Fellowship to the Sobadi Yo. Then they did Sobadi Tani, the Data Retro Soya, Chushaya, and that's all the Nyanji Sombasani. Mother woke the Nimaran to the Nigeria Kuzumba, Solate, the Rokur Shea, the Kasota, that is.
Okay. So now, since Rinpoche has been here so far, he has established a Dharma organization, which is a Compassion Fellowship. And I think they have a website, and you can read Rinpoche's biography on his website, and you can read about the activities. So, of course, now Rinpoche wants to bring the Buddha Dharma to America, and to establish the Buddha Dharma, much like it was established in Tibet, to give teaching does require that you have a place, that you have a temple and a Dharma center. So right now his hope is to meet American people who are interested in this and willing to get involved with the project to establish Dharma center.
Rinpoche, maybe can you help me understand a little bit about what some of those activities that you have right now with the Compassion Fellowship are, both here in the West and maybe back in Tibet?
Yes, I did forget to say that Rinpoche said before, he still travels back to Tibet to teach, so he's still involved in America and in Tibet, so both, but the question is...
Yeah, so maybe you can just tell a little bit of background about some of your activities and highlight those a little bit for our audience.
Of course, then Mount be charged Pola Niore, that Mount Bala Pola charge Niore, charge 6 days in Golok, Tashi Goman, Latin, Shatajik Zobiot, and Shatajik Zotla Sango, charge 6 days in Shatajik that in Sajada, the Sosamayori, you know, that in Shata. And the dead, the Panjur, and the need down Jap to your Marina, Sajat Mayuri. The Shata is also.
So I have 2 main projects in Tibet right now. The first one is in Golok, at Tashigomong Monastery, where I want to establish a college, a shidra. And I've already purchased the land, and so I'm looking forward to in the future we can actually build the college for Dharma education.
Lama dan terma de ni yo re tino ni lama de napshit tene ju songa jang bo ji che tene koran su terang chat bo re to mon bo chat ni ma so ta ga du dan karwa dan na ma on ba tene ju songa jang de ni chu che ji ke sha ya mi cha ji yo de ni kong so ga songa jang bo chat sa ha kong so sa yo is.
And the second area of my activity is in Shan Zabulung, or Klu Zabulung. This is near Zabulung, at Zangpo Rinpoche's monastery, which is called Shindu Monastery. And this is not too far from Lhasa. You can drive there in one day to give you an idea of where it is. And Zangpo Rinpoche then, Rinpoche visited there in 2003 or something. And Zangpo Rinpoche asked or requested to Tulku Orgyen Rinpoche to take on the responsibility for the transmission of the Nyingma doctrine in his monastery, in Shindu Monastery. So to take on the responsibility to transmit the canonical transmission and the treasured tradition. So this is a big responsibility to keep intact the doctrinal tradition of the Nyingma lineage in Shindu Monastery. So this is his second big project in Tibet for the future. So Rinpoche is traveling a little bit back and forth as circumstances allow between teaching in the West, teaching in America, and teaching in Tibet. For America, he has established the Compassion Fellowship, and this is like a seed. It's a small organization, but his vision is to have a large organization that's capable of really being a support for teaching the Buddha Dharma in the West to many, many people. So that in the West, not only can we have not only the temporal happiness and well-being, but we can also have the ultimate and permanent well-being that comes with realization. So he really has great hope, prayer, vision for the establishment of the Dharma here in America. And he's really looking for people who are interested in this vision to join. So hoping people will go to his website and see what his projects are.
Fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So right now I've just come to America basically, and I didn't know anybody when I came here. So right now I am meeting many people, and that's what's important right now. And if I meet many people and the conditions are right and we have faith and trust together, then we can work together to establish the Dharma here.
That's really wonderful. That's really wonderful. Thank you so much for your time with us today.
Oh, thank you so much.
Sorry, I didn't understand everything.
Oh, good.
Sorry.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you everybody, and we'll see you next time when we have another episode of the Rolmo Interviews from Jnanasukha.
Bye-bye.